E aí galera do YouTube, tudo bom com vocês? Bem-vindo a mais um vídeo de Genshin Impact. E pois é, o patch 2.5 finalmente tá na área. E nós vamos ver se nós temos sorte de pegar a Yae Miko. Mas não agora, obviamente, né? No final do vídeo. Agora nós vamos testar a personagem, depois fazer a missão de história que eu vou liberar agora. Eu não sei pra onde aqui isso vai me levar, mas eu vou liberar agora. Ok. E... isso aqui eu só posso fazer depois, que é literalmente da Yae Miko. Isso aqui eu vou ter que fazer onde? Fale com Caterine. Ah, ok. Mas não vai ser agora. Primeiro nós vamos testar os personagens. Eu não sei o que é isso aqui. Já olhei várias vezes e ainda tá aí. Vamos lá, né? Testar os personagens, depois jogar a história. Aí nós damos tiro no banner. Nossa. Primeiro toma, obviamente. Eu não tenho nenhuma constelação dele. Eu nem sei o que a primeira constelação dele faz, velho. Vamos ver o personagem. Full suporte. Full suporte. Constelação faz o quê? Ah! Interessante. Ok. Com o time full suporte. Beleza. Toma. Segura esse. E... oh! Toma aí. Agora eu faço isso aqui. Volta pra girar isso aqui. E volta pro toma. Toma. Não precisa fazer nada, fera. A ult do Kei aí da Xiangling acaba com os bichos sozinho. Muito bom, agora é o próximo. Diona. Diona eu tenho constelação 2 dela, eu acho. Ou eu tenho constelação 4? Eu não tô lembrado. Acho que é a constelação 4 que eu tenho da Diona. Full suporte também, né? Óbvio, claro. Healer. Suporte healer. Ok.
Come a little closer.
Toma mais um. Toma mais esse. E mais esse aqui. Agora toma esse.
Come a little closer.
Come a little closer. Tum. Esse aqui. Esse aqui. E por último esse aqui. E agora é só esperar. Tome um. Tome dois. Tome três. E... oh! You've been a naughty boy. Eu amo a Lisa, cara. Eu comecei a jogar Genshin justamente por causa da Lisa. É uma pena que o kit dela não é bom pra ser DPS. Ela é um bom suporte, mas eu quero personagem de DPS. O meu time principal eu quero que seja um time de DPS. Vamos lá, próximo. Aqui. Fechou. Todo mundo sabe que a Ficha é a melhor bateria do jogo. Mais ou menos. Ok. Aqui ela tá meio suporte e meio DPS. Porque isso aqui não é um arco de DPS, fera. Ela tá um sub DPS, né? É assim que se chama? Sub DPS. Tom. Tome. Midnight Phantasmagoria. Bota isso aqui. Isso aqui. E... Easy. Passando rapidinho por eles, porque todo mundo conhece esses personagens. Agora nós vamos para a nossa querida Yae Miko. Guji Yae. Yae Guji, sei lá. E o meu item da sorte de hoje é esse aqui, fera. Justamente os fungos dela. Tem tudo junto já. É o meu item da sorte. Nice. Vamos lá. Vamos ver como é que tá buildada a Yae Miko da Mihoyo. E como é o dano dela, né? O dano dela. Qual o suporte dela? Provavelmente algum elétrico e... Ah! Bárbara? Sério? Ok. Pode estar carregado. Ah, não gasta não. É da hora, hein? Bonito a carregada dela. Ela correndo, óbvio. Os três totem. Ah, ela tá com a arma principal dela, né? Que ela ganhou um buff agora, que eu vi. Ah. Ela ganhou o buff de 12% de dano elemental. Ganhou. No eletro. 71 de taxa, 150 de dano, 135 de recarga. A minha Yae vai estar um pouquinho melhor do que isso. Eu só não sei sobre o ataque dela, mas os status podem estar um pouquinho melhor. Eletro e... as reminiscências nostálgicas. É praticamente o mesmo dos artefatos da minha. Constelação nenhum. Talento tudo 8. Ok, agora vamos testar ela. Um, 2, 3. Qual o dano da explosão? 7.000. 7.000. Ok. Isso aqui. 15 mil. 15 mil e 20 mil, ok. Errou. Ah, então não dá pra esquivar com isso não, né? Beleza. Eu nem preciso atacar. Ainda acertaram nela. 8.000 não tá carregado, nada mal mesmo. Ok. Very nice. Vamos dar uma pequena olhada rápida aqui nas animações dela. Ok. Ah, ela faz um círculo. Ok. Nice. Ok. A ult dela, que é show de bola, né? Nossa. A sight to behold. As orelhinhas. Cara, no começo, quando eu conhecia a Yae Miko, eu não sabia que isso aqui era uma orelha. Pensei que era o cabelo dela mesmo. Porque eu sempre vi ela, eu sempre olhei ela assim, ó. Parece que é parte do cabelo, mas eu nunca vi ela assim, desse ângulo assim. Beleza, testamos a Yae Miko, vamos fazer a história. Vamos lá, falar com a Catherine. Falta 10 tiros pra pegar meu personagem no pit. Eu tô no 70, quando chegar no 80 eu pego um 5 estrelas, provavelmente. Tomara que eu ganhe 50-50. É só o que eu quero. Vamos ver qual é a trama desse patch 2.5 e como é que a Raiden vai virar uma vilã. Hello!
Recently, the Adventurers Guild has received an unusual commission.
De quem?
And after careful consideration,
Acreditamos que eu sou a pessoa certa pra isso. Né? Como sempre.
indeed, as ever.
Como sempre.
I will spare the pleasantries then. May I ask if you two are available to help?
Mas é claro, é por isso que estamos aqui. Vai depender do trabalho e da compensação. Tá.
Well, let me go over it briefly. Our client for this job is the Yashiro Commission.
Ok.
Apparently, Rift Towns are
Cães.
attacking the roots of the sacred sakura nearby Mount Yogo in great numbers.
Estão atacando a Sakura Sagrada? Caraca, mano. Estranho.
Yes. We are not sure where exactly these creatures come from. But this time, they are attacking in alarming numbers with great aggression and a clear target. The sacred sakura is of tremendous importance to Inazuma. I trust you are aware
Sim,
of this
sim, com
already?
certeza.
Good. Then you can see that this case is very urgent indeed.
Is the Tenryu Commission aware?
Yes, and they are already taking action of their own. However, given that the sacred sakura's root system is vast and complex, and faced with the unpredictability and scale of the Rift Town's attacks, they are finding it difficult to defend against them.
Então nós vamos caçar
Their main
alguns cães da
priority is to
fenda.
protect the civilian population, so they are actively looking to cooperate with all other available forces to eliminate the monsters.
Foi o que eu pensei.
The Adventurers Guild is one of the key parties assisting the Tenryu Commission with their work. But so far, the combined efforts to combat the Rift Towns has failed to substantially ameliorate the situation.
Vou dar uma boa lição
You
neles.
have our deepest gratitude. Your confident response puts me far more at ease. I will mark on your map the areas where Rift Town appearances have been recently reported. I hope you won't encounter too much trouble overcoming them.
Ok. Tá tranquilo.
Be back before you can say Ad Astra Abyssos.
Seria interessante se ela dissesse agora. Sonhos transientes. O time de hoje
Sacred Sakura's
é a Raiden, a Ayaka e Sayu. Eu poderia botar a
the sacred
Sarah, mas eu queria deixar um espaço aberto pra
mangy mutts are trying to destroy it.
pra Yae quando eu dei o tiro no banner. Sayu trabalha pra Yae e a Ayaka respeita a Yae. Então é isso aí.
I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Com certeza. Eles estão onde exatamente? Ah, tô vendo eles ali.
We're attacking the sacred Sakura. Stop them.
My apologies.
Ah, olá!
Whirling snow. Embrace the ice.
Prão!
Take flight.
Quem disse que tu podia desviar?
There is no escape.
Wow, there are so many of them. No wonder the Tenryu Commission needed help. Come on, traveler.
Tem mais?
Take 'em.
Illusion shattered.
Oh, ok. Pera, a gente tá encurralado? Como assim a gente tá encurralado? Isso é trabalho fácil.
Born to oblivion.
Oh! Ela tá aqui? Por que ela tá aqui?
Shogun?
Por que a Shogun tá aqui?
No. Could also be A.
Ué. Por que ela tá aqui?
It's you two.
É aí. Com certeza é aí. Pelo jeito
Been
que...
a long time.
Com certeza é aí.
Not seen each other since the resolution of the Tenryu Commission crisis.
Okay, sounds more like A.
Exato.
It is you, right?
Sim. Tá.
Sure made short work of them. That was amazing.
trailer aqui
Making
dessa vez.
early preparations for what is to come.
And
Last
what is
time
to
we took a
come?
walk around Inazuma together, I witnessed the way the world is today. I was finally able to comprehend some things that I had never understood in the past. Since then, every time I encounter an obstacle in my thinking, I find myself having the urge to spend some time in the outside world.
Makes sense. You must get super bored being stuck in there all the time.
Might I remind you that I am not here to amuse myself. Recently, I have observed a number of changes in the external world from the plane of Euthymia. The most serious of these being the attack on the sacred Sakura by numerous rift hounds. I considered this matter worthy of my attention, so I pursued them, and they led me here, where I happened to run into you.
Mas a comissão ainda.
If the Shogun rather than I were to discover them, yes, perhaps she would have left the situation alone.
Why? Because she's just a puppet?
Precisely. According to the rules I designed for her, matters of this nature are to be delegated to the Tri-Commission. But rift hounds attacking the sacred Sakura. It brings back bad memories of that terrible disaster.
Sim.
Disaster?
Paimon, não se deve perguntar essas coisas, a gente sabe já.
500 years ago, a great catastrophe befell Inazuma. Everything was engulfed in a pitch-black fog, and monsters ravaged the land. Countless lives were lost,
E
and this
uns
home
amigos
that
dela.
the people had worked so hard to build barely escaped being obliterated entirely. The monsters committed many atrocities on Inazuman soil, and the rift hounds were always their advance guard. Their duty was to tear open a passage through space with their claws and teeth, and then call in even more powerful beasts.
Queria.
So you've heard of it too. That's an episode of history that I am loath to recall. Maybe to you, it seems like my response to these creatures was an excessive one. But an excess of caution is not unwarranted in this case.
É verdade.
Can't argue with that.
É,
Since we are both here for the same reason, let us work together.
tu já tá no meu
From the
time.
traces they've left in the surrounding area, there should be many more monsters nearby. All of them must be eliminated.
Vamos lá.
Paimon feels so safe when we're in Ace company. Having someone uber powerful on your team kind of makes you feel invincible, doesn't it? Oh yeah, after we've dealt with the monsters, we should ask her to tell us more about Connie.
Eu não sei se ela quer falar sobre isso.
This color! It's similar to the color when the sacred Sakura takes damage. Let's follow it. It should be this way.
Ok. Oh,
We're lucky. The damage is not too serious. The Yashiro Commission will be able to nurse the root system back to health.
nice.
This stuff that's flowing out, is it sap or something? And how come it's glowing? Huh?
Save. Foi isso. Tinha alguma coisa no... What?
What's this? Could they be dead people? It wouldn't be the first time we'd seen ghosts on
É.
our journey,
É verdade.
but why would they appear here?
Let's search the area. Perhaps we will find out.
Ok. Que foi que eu carinha?
I can't go on like this. Not when the other troops are counting on me.
What happened here? Could you tell us?
Who are you? What are you doing here? Run quick while you still can. The monsters will be back. And once you're in their sights, I'm telling you there's no escaping them. We will defend Inazuma until our dying breath.
Provavelmente o exército de 500 anos atrás, né?
You don't know?
Exatamente.
Inazuma is engulfed in darkness. Beasts and horrifying monsters are everywhere. They are merciless, ferocious, and they will devour everything in their path. Every last trace of humanity's existence, I tell you. They'll devour it all.
But look, none of that seems to be going on around here.
Not right now, but they'll be back. Look, get out of here. Now, there's no time left. The almighty Shogun is gone. So is Kitsune Saigu. There is no one left to rely on but ourselves.
Kitsune Saigu.
I don't know how long we can hold out for. But if we abandon our hope, then we've got nothing left at all.
Don't worry, I'm right here.
It's the Shogun? You're back. Please, we beg you. You have to help us. You have to save Inazuma. Only the glow of your supreme lightning can dispel this terrible darkness. Please, or the whole of Inazuma will be reduced to a hunting ground for the beasts.
Calm down. The war you speak of is over.
Over? But what do you mean? Shogun?
Look around you. The grass grows green and lush, and a soft breeze blows. This is Inazuma at peace, as you will no doubt remember. There are no monsters, nor is there anything else here that could threaten your life.
What?
It's the future.
But how? Just moments ago, they were everywhere. I saw them tear my comrade to shreds with my own eyes.
É só falar pra ele que ele é um fantasma, fera.
Down. Everything's fine now.
Huh. I think I understand. You saved Inazuma. Yes, we were right to place our trust in the almighty Shogun. As long as the Shogun is with us, Inazuma will last for an eternity. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, thank you.
Acalmou o espírito dele.
What's wrong with him?
Ele está em paz.
He's gone.
Paimon can't even begin to understand what that was all about. But somehow, Paimon feels all sad and hopeless.
If I am not mistaken, what we just saw was a samurai's memory that was buried in the land. The sacred sakura can absorb and purify the filth in the ley lines. After the Rift Hounds attacked, some of this filth leaked out through the cracks in the trunk and formed a physical entity. An entity formed with strong filth would be highly aggressive. But when purified, it presents in the form of a memory. Purified filth quickly dissipates and will be absorbed by the ley lines shortly afterwards. In other words,
Não pode existir
it
por muito
cannot
tempo.
exist for too long.
So the memories of the ones that died are all appearing at this moment?
Yes. That soldier was one of the many thousands who made the ultimate sacrifice. What he was describing just now was precisely the disaster that happened in Inazuma 500 years ago. Yes. Inazuma was facing many great crises at that time. Some were local in origin, while others came from the now fallen kingdom of Kanria. The disaster in Inazuma caused me great concern. I felt that I had to step in before it was too late, otherwise it would spread to all of Teyvat. But my friend, Kitsune Saigu, reassured me that I had nothing to worry about. She would shoulder the responsibility of protecting Inazuma and mobilize all forces at her disposal to combat the threat.
Só que foi pouquinho demais, né?
Although neither of us acknowledged it, we both knew that the road ahead would likely end in tragedy.
So, Inazuma was attacked at the same time as when the disaster happened in Kanria?
Indeed. Countless monsters suddenly appeared throughout all of Inazuma.
Suspeito.
In the end, Kitsune Saigu sacrificed her life to protect the people. I never had the chance to see her one last time. but I would like to believe that she kept her promise to me until the very last. But even then, Inazuma was left more devastated than we could have ever imagined. Those terrible tragedies left great wounds that are still felt to this day, both on the land itself and in my heart. Yes. For the longest time, I couldn't bring myself to face the pain of that loss. All my martial might was in vain. Though I could conquer Tatarigami and vanquish monsters, I was helpless against the ravages of time, powerless to keep the ones I cherished alive.
Not problem.
But after my clash with human ambition, I thought long and hard. Now I realize I cannot fixate on the past forever. When I traveled around Inazuma with you, I caught a glimpse of how the nation has progressed over the centuries. A glimpse of human potential. Everything far exceeded my expectations. Moving forward inevitably invites further loss, but also new encounters.
É, exato.
Just think of that soldier. Despite all the losses he had experienced, he still chose to keep fighting for the sake of moving forward. All those who sacrificed themselves back then gave their lives fighting for a future. But perhaps the future they were hoping for is not the eternity that I once strove for. As Inazuma's god, it is high time I honored their wishes. Warriors of the past, who spilled your blood on this land, your noble souls now rest in this earth. I will never forget you, and all that you did for Inazuma.
He's taking all this pretty hard.
Come on. Let's keep investigating the damage to the sacred Sakura.
Ok. Agora eu vou trocar o idioma para o japonês. Simbora! Pra cá? Pera, cadê o resto do time? Eu só tô com ela. Oh. Não, pera aí, essa aqui é a minha. Cadê o resto do time? Eu tenho que vencer só com ela? Ok. Então deixa eu trocar o meu item. Done. Tá tudo bem?
どうしてそのようなことを聞くのでしょう。普段ならもっと手際よく刀を抜いてシャキーンって一瞬で切り伏せるだろう。心配はいりません。私はただ力を温存しておきたいだけです。事前にある程度の情報を得てはいますが、いつ不測の事態が起こっても
Inteligente。
ですから最善の準備をしておかなければならないのです。もしより強大な魔獣があたりに潜んでいたら、それに対応できるだけの力。
Aprenda a conservar sua energia, Paimon.
さすが百戦錬磨の大将軍。この木の根は深い傷を負っているみたいだ。このことをシャブ業の人に伝えないと。あれ、また光り出したぞ。
Quem é que vai aparecer dessa vez? O seuzinho?
あなたは古山。
conhecido. Mestre do chá.
遠方の戦場へとお出向きになられたのでは。どうしてまたお帰りに。
遠方の戦場？これも500年前の出来事なのか。
Por que ele tem uma faixa no
私か
olho?
ら紹介しましょう。このものは古山。かねてより私に付き従っていた茶人です。古山は目が見えませんが、
Ah,
常人をはるかに超える神秘を備えています。彼が入れたお茶は稲妻でも一二を争うものなんですよ。
そんな恐れ多い。これはただ将軍様にずっと付き従って得得した特技にすみませんよ。ところでお客人をお連れのようですが、このような状況ではおそらく皆さんにまともなお茶をお出しすることはできません。それでもよろしければこちらに座ってしばらくお休みになられませんか。何せ外はもう大混乱ですので。
なあ、おいらたちどうしたらいいんだろう。そうなんだよ。外はもう猛獣だらけで真っ暗なんだ。それに怪我人もいっぱいいて。
そうですか。もうここまで攻めてきたのですね。付近の住民はもうほとんど逃げました。彼らはこの老骨も連れて行こうとしましたが、私は意味がないと思い、ここに残ったのです。将軍様がいらっしゃるのですから、私が逃げる理由などありません。それに、もしこれが将軍様ですらどうしようもないことだったとしたら、一体どこに逃げればいいというのでしょう。逃げるのは生き延びるため。生きたいと思うのはまだやり遂げていないことがあるため。しかし私にはあいにくそのような考えがありません。後悔や心残りもないのです。
Ele já
将軍様がお茶をたしなむとき、
já alcançou o objetivo de vida.
無双のことを私に話してくださいました。その話を聞いていると、たとえ長いこと光を失っていた私でも、稲妻の最も美しい山々や海を旅しているような気分になれたのです。
Muito que sonhadora.
私は将軍様のロマンと夢のある考えを理解するようになりました。いつも言っていましたよ。美しきものは時の流れとともに変化し消えてゆく。だからこそ人生において悔いのないよう楽しまなければならないと。
Exato.
それって。
私はすでに無数の美しき物事を見てきました。たとえ最悪の今であっても何の不満もありません。
間違ってはいません。
あと少しすれば私も将軍様にお別れを告げる時が来るでしょう。この災難の後、将軍様の再建した稲妻を見れないのは本当に残念で仕方ありません。しかしそれでもいいのです。皆稲妻が闇に包まれたと言っていますが、私の目には稲妻はずっと真っ暗だったんですから。災難が過ぎれば神聖が来たるもの。たとえ私がその時まで生きながらえたとしても、ただの風情のわからぬ盲目の老人。やはりこれ以上はやめておきましょう。
Eita, tristeza.
おや、これはいけない。自分の話ばかりしてお茶を出してもいませんでした。 将軍様がいらっしゃったというのにお茶すら用意できていないとは。なんと失敬なことを。
Falta de etiqueta da minha parte.
少々お待ちを。今すぐ。おや、茶道具はどこに？もしや他の者がここを離れようとしたとき、どこかにぶつけて割ってしまったのでしょうか。
確かに茶道具はどこにもなさそうだな。
やはりありませんか。いつもはすぐそばに置いてあるはずなんですが。いえいえ、客人に取りに行かせるなんてあまりにも礼儀を欠いてしまっております。
問題ありません。あなたはここで休んでいてください。私たちがすぐに取ってきますので。
将軍様は直々に行かれるのですか？なりません。そんな恐れ多いこと。それに外の戦況も。
この場所は複雑で、あなたの記憶にある茶屋とは大きく異なります。私たちに任せてください。
わかりました。まさか将軍様に用意してもらう日が訪れるとは。最後の後悔と言いますか、最後の後悔と言いますか。
Boa. Boa, Furuyama.
どこに行けば茶道具が見つかるんだろうな。お茶は飲めなくてもいいけど、あの優しいおじいちゃん。
Caraca, homem! Caramba!
彼の入れたお茶が恋しくなってきました。
そうだ、上里屋敷に行こう。あそこならきっと茶道具を借りれるはずだ。
E aí?
旅人さん、それと
Que reação.
将軍様は直々にいらっしゃるとはどういったご用件でしょうか。
Precisamos de um conjunto de chá.
にある茶道具を貸していただけますか？
はい、今すぐ準備してまいります。将軍様は中庭でお休みになられていてください。将軍様がいらっしゃったことをすぐに当主様にお伝えしてまいります。茶道具は準備が整い次第お持ちいたしますので。
Relaxa, fera.
彼に会いに来たわけではありません。休むよりもこの時間を使って旅人さんと話をするつもりです。お手数ですが、茶道具の方はお任せしましたよ。
はい、将軍様直々に最善を尽くさせていただきます。今すぐ手配してまいりますのでお待ちください。
Essa foi
せ
boa.
っかく話をする機会ができたのです。私に聞きたいことが山ほどあるのではないですか？
そうそう。
Vamos começar com algo simples.
あの人の言ってた将軍様ってなんだかエイと全然違う気がするぞ。
Makoto.
私がお茶を飲む機会はあまりなく、空いた時間はいつも武道の鍛錬に費やしていました。
Ele servia a
ほ
Mikoto.
とんどの時間、
Makoto, sei lá.
彼は前任の来週、
Makoto, isso.
つまり私の姉であるライデン誠のためにお茶を入れていたのです。もしかすると彼は二人の将軍に気づいていたかもしれませんが、ただずっと何も知らないかのように振る舞っていました。先ほど彼が言った理念も誠がずっと抱いていた現実に対する見方です。
誠とエイの考え方ってすごく違うんだな。
はい、それこそが私たちの間にある一番大きな違いでした。彼女が属世で最も重きを置いていた考えは無双、すなわちより良い未来への承継だったのです。
Ambição.
似た点もありますが少し違います。あなたが一瞬浄土に入ってきた時、願いを象徴する無数の星々が彼方の空で光り輝きました。それを見て私の心は動揺してしまったのです。 今思えば彼女が正しくて私が間違っていたのでしょう。
そんなことがあったのか。
誠は私よりも遠くを見据えていました。彼女にとっての無双とは願いよりも実体のない抽象的な状態のことだったのでしょう。願いが指し示すことのほとんどは特定の物質や結果です。それはそこで終わることもあれば、新たな願いにとって変わることもあります。誠が気にかけていたのは、人間に新しい願いを生じさせる原動力。その原動力は本能によるものであり、言い換えればそれも一種の永遠なのです。
永遠に。
何を言ってるのかわからなくなってきた。
わかりやすく言うと、誠は結果を気にしなかったのです。あの時の私にはどうしても理解できませんでした。すべてが前へと流れているにもかかわらず、一体どうして永遠を保っていると言えるのでしょう。しかし、それが彼女の永遠に対する解釈でした。はい。以前の私は、彼女が何か底知れぬ英知を手にしたからだと考えていました。けれど、ようやく分かったのです。誠のその考えは、一見単純ですが、より成熟していて、先を見据えた慎重な選択であったのだと。
今のエイなら誠を理解できるのか。
私の過去の永遠に対する考えは、あなたたちも見届けたはずです。今の私はもう失ったものに固執することはありません。私と彼女は分かり合えたと言えるでしょう。
将軍様、茶道具を見つけてまいりました。この一式が最も将軍様にお似合いかと。
O gosto de chá normal tava de boa, fera.
とても趣のある良い品ですね。ありがとうございます。
Vai chorar, fera? Vai chorar, caramba?
実は話の通じるお方なんだぜ。
二人とも戻りましょう。あまり古山を待たせてはいけませんからね。
Ok. Gravar vídeo assim que o patch é lançado é complicado, mano. 1h da manhã, tô morrendo de sono já. Ele tá aqui? Acho que não. É óbvio que não, fera. Era só uma lembrança.
Hey, where'd he go? He wouldn't have gone looking for a tea set himself, would he?
Ele deve ter voltado pro canto dele, pô.
Or perhaps the ley lines did not have the power to sustain him for very long. As was the case with the memory we saw.
Exato. Vocês não pensaram nisso, não?
So we won't get to drink his tea?
Ah.
We didn't even have a chance to say goodbye.
Ô, Paimon. Qual é, Paimon?
The information held in the ley lines is complex and disorderly. The fact that we were able to meet him to begin with was a miracle of fate.
Vamos separar nosso próprio chá.
Well, this chance won't come often, and we do have a tea set. Perhaps I should try my hand at
Oh
making us a
no.
cup of tea.
No, no, please
Watch
don't.
Furuyama brew tea
No,
on
no,
occasion.
no. Tu não tem capacidade de cozinhar.
I should
Pelo
have
amor de Deus,
any
não.
problems doing it myself.
No, please don't. No.
The tea is ready. Please give it a try.
Tô com medo.
So many thoughts were racing through my head as I was brewing it. I'm not sure how to explain it. You're right. But the things we've seen today have brought back many memories for me. I've been reminded of many people too. Kitsune Saigu,
Makoto.
Makoto, and all the other friends who I watched pass even further back. Back at the Yashiro Commission, I kept the conversation reasonably light-hearted. But now, I'd like to broach a heavier topic. if
Fique à
I may.
vontade.
The events of 500 years ago not only robbed me of my friend, Kitsune Saigu, they also took Makoto away from me for good.
Nossa.
Died in that disaster too.
A voz da Yae, mano, dá vontade de chorar o jeito que ela tá falando, nossa.
Without telling me, unlike me, Makoto was no martial artist. Whenever similar crises had arisen in the past, I was always
Então
the
por
one
que
to
ela
face them in
foi?
her stead. But this time, the circumstances were so grave that Makoto had no choice but to leave me behind. Or perhaps it was more that she went ahead of me, put herself in front of me, so that I would remain hidden. In any case, by the time I realized what was happening, yes, it was too late.
Ugh.
I arrived only in time to hear her dying breath. She had already lapsed into unconsciousness by that point, so all I could do was enter into her mind. As far as you're concerned, it would be somewhere similar to the plane of Euthymia. It was there that we bid each other a final farewell. I cried bitterly. Even in those final moments, I couldn't understand her actions. Why did she go to Conria first, and not I? Why did she keep me in the dark about it? Was it to shield me? It was there and then that I resolved to pursue eternity. As a testament to that decision, I saved her realm of consciousness just before it collapsed completely, and brought it back to Inazuma.
Wait, what?
That's quite a story.
When I returned to Inazuma, I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. The tree that you know as the sacred sakura. That's exactly what everyone back then told me as well. That it had existed since time immemorial. They were so matter-of-fact about it, and couldn't at all understand what I was so surprised about. No one questioned it, and yet its presence contrasted so starkly with the area as I remembered it. It seemed as if I was the only one to have noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air.
Suspeito.
In the end, I simply had to accept that it was a miraculous effect of Makoto's consciousness. With the help of the sacred Sakura's power, I was finally able to overcome the monsters and quell the disaster in Inazuma.
This is all really hard to understand. Kinda beyond Paimon's level.
Yes. She had such a great love for this land and for its people. In this respect, I still do not compare to her. I once told myself that I would never speak of these events again. Facing the fact that she is gone is unbearably painful. But even the tea that is most bitter to the tongue, once swallowed, leaves some sweetness in the throat. And it's time I came to terms with it all.
While we're on the topic, since you experienced that battle in person...
Brother? I had heard that you were looking for your family.
Caraca, é a primeira vez que a gente fala sobre
To
isso?
say that he was somehow involved in the Conria disaster?
Yes.
Based on what we've learned so far, it seems so, yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for the whole thing. By the time I arrived, the worst of the fighting was already over. And also, my mind was consumed entirely with the plight of Inazuma, and the fate of those closest to me. So, I am afraid I can't help you.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Ninguém pode ajudar, fera.
Yes. Boy, both of you have experienced great tragedy.
With this last cup of tea, let us honor the Team Master's memory. Thank you, Destiny, for giving us the chance to meet again.
We should go. Let's keep following the traces.
Essa história tá ficando triste, cara.
Based on my investigation so far, I believe this next pack of monsters should be the last.
Ok, vamos lá. Eu tô vendo, câmera, não sou cego não. Olha lá eles. Oh. Ok, tem que ativar a cutscene.
Once again, please leave them to me.
Oh, ok.
Hey! Are you sure you're alright? You're scaring us!
Fear not. Fighting is what I do best.
Are you sure? 222. Tá. Ah, constelação 3. Nossa senhora. Ok. 8. Oh, nossa, agora eu sei que ela tá forte.
Shine down. Illusion shattered.
Eu tô travado de quê?
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
O que tá vendo, mano?
There is no escape. Torn to oblivion.
Que é isso?
Illusion shattered. There is no escape.
O que é isso, mano?
Shine down. There is no escape. Now you
Vamos ver.
shall perish.
Oi!
Shine down.
Que é isso, maluco?
There is no escape.
O que é isso, mano?
Transcend.
O que tá acontecendo, cara? Por que eu tô travando?
Maybe you should leave this one to us.
Ajuda logo de uma vez, caramba. Tá vendo não?
Apologies.
Don't worry about it. Just take a breather and get your strength back. We'll deal with the monsters.
Sim, claro. Oh.
Look, that's the same light again.
Chegou a ajuda.
Where am I? Who are you? Almighty Shogun, you're here too. Are you injured, Your Excellency?
I'm quite all right. Just feeling a little stiff.
We, the Shogunate Samurai, will defend the Shogun until the very end.
Oh.
Come on, men. They're coming back for more. Let's get them.
Don't. It's too dangerous.
Danger is our duty, ma'am. If
we were the kinds to shy away from danger, we never would have taken up arms to begin with.
É verdade.
No need to worry, Almighty Shogun. When the situation looks bleak, we will draw on the power granted to us by the gods.
Is that a vision?
Elétrico.
It certainly is. I know the gods are omnipotent, and their willingness to grant their power to humans means they have high expectations for us. If the Almighty Shogun is in trouble, now of all times is the moment for us to honor that.
Isso aí.
So that's how samurai of that era understood visions, huh?
Nobody knew where your excellency had gone, and we were starting to despair. But now we've found you. You're right here with us. Just the sight of you appearing before us once more has reignited the hope in our hearts. This hope is the light that will guide us out from the darkness.
Everyone, on me!
Charge!
Huh? Affirmative, but watch your backs.
Protect the Almighty
E aí, galerinha?
Shogun!
Posso nem brincar, pô.
All hail!
Barbados! Ganda!
You can run, but you can't hide.
Atacou o alvo errado, fera. Olha aí.
It seems like their attacks are finally over.
I've never fought so fiercely before.
Thank you all.
Are you okay? Maybe you should keep resting.
I'm fine. I feel much better already.
Não parece.
You fought phenomenally. It was truly awe-inspiring. The monsters will definitely come back. And when they do, it'll be more than a few Rift Hounds this time. Quickly, escort Her Excellency back to Inazuma City, and regroup with the General's forces as soon as possible.
When everyone sees the Almighty Shogun safely returning, their spirits will be lifted.
É verdade.
What are you guys gonna do?
We will stay here and guard against the monsters' advance. We cannot afford to let them get any further. We are brothers in arms. As long as we stick together, we can face any number of monsters that come our way.
É isso aí, fera. É uma pena que eles já estão mortos, né?
Just leave it to us. Fighting is what we do best. But the Almighty Shogun is the only one of us with the power to change the present state of affairs. Only Her Excellency can turn back the tide of despair and lead us onward into the future. No matter what kind of threat faces Inazuma, we will always place our faith in the Almighty Shogun.
Thank you all very much. I promise you that I will create a bright future for Inazuma. I should not have left it this late to make this promise. But from this moment forth, know that I shall be true to my word.
Don't worry, Your Excellency. We will never doubt your word as long as we live.
Ai! Ui!
You leading us, we will claim back everything that Inazuma has lost.
Glory to the Shogun. Glory to the Shogun!
They're gone.
It was both. The people's sacrifice has always caused me immense pain. But in dwelling on the tragedy, I overlooked their splendor. The grief blinded me to how brightly they shone in their final moments. The result being that in the centuries since their sacrifice, I have dishonored their will. You could take the view that whatever I say to them is meaningless, because they are but disembodied memories held in the ley lines. But even so, they are due a resolution. I owe it to them, and to all the people who have placed their faith in me to date.
Well, Paimon thinks that even if it's a few hundred years later, you're doing right by them now, and that's what counts.
Thank you for your comforting words. But this is my basic duty as Inazuma's Archon, and I have neglected it for far too long. I used to think just like that samurai, that I was first and foremost a warrior, and my only duty was to face whatever challenge came my way. But what Inazuma needs more than a warrior is someone like Makoto. Even though I am utterly unlike Makoto, and can never become the person she was, I still need to do the things that she would have done. Yes, they are. They are strong and resilient, and have much to be proud of. As the Raiden Shogun they revere, I should not be the one to hold them back.
Well said.
Realmente, bem dito.
Figured things out.
Elucidação.
Change will come to Inazuma, and with it, new possibilities. This will take time, but eventually, the future will bring healing to the scars of the past. No matter how long it takes, I am committed to bringing this to fruition.
Muito bem,
This
muito bem.
is my promise. Now that we've dealt with the Rift Hounds, this matter is halfway resolved. It does not appear that the threat will escalate for the time being. I will leave the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions to handle the follow-up work, such as investigating the origins of this incident and tending to the root system.
Alrighty then, let's move on.
Let's move on. To where?
He looks calm on the outside, but Paimon bets her emotions must be all over the place right now, huh?
Com certeza.
She seems to have
Com
changed
todas essas
a lot
lembranças.
since we last met her.
Ela sumiu.
What's wrong, eh? Come on.
Ah não, ela tá aí. Ih!
What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
My body... I can't move it. It looks like the situation is more serious than I thought. No need.
Minha hora chegou. O que é isso, fera?
He is calling me. The time has come.
O que é isso, fera?
Can you help me walk? I need to go to the cave below the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Ok.
Why? What's in there?
Shogun. Não, não.
A battleground. One where I shall sever ties with the past and take the first steps into the future.
Ok, vamos. Pra onde você quiser ir, eu levo. Chegou! Ah, aquele canto, né? O que que tem aqui?
We're finally here. The entrance should be nearby.
Que entrada? De quê? Oh? Oh! What?
Whoa! Where'd that Torii gate come from?
It's getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm about to put an end to it all.
O que exatamente?
This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Raiden Makoto's
Oh!
consciousness.
What?
It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body as I please.
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
É a Shogun.
Follow me.
Eu sinto que vai dar treta. A gente foi sugado. Chupada dimensional. Ainda bem que eu coloquei meu time principal, porque se der merda eu já tô pronto. Plano de eu tinha. Pera, eu já vou enfrentar ela na forma boss dela? É isso? É a Makoto? Não.
We meet again, traveler.
Wait,
This
what?
body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
What?
Paimon knows that voice. Is that the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity. You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion? I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait. The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse.
Cutscene de batalha?
Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes. But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles.
Literalmente.
Not like this. It's a bit extreme. A showdown with the Shogun? Never thought we'd see that day.
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The very foundation stone of eternity. It shall not be easily swayed. I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Isn't there any
Aquela pose ali tá show de bola, hein?
Can't you talk it through or something? But they both just want the best for Inazuma.
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun.
Curti a pose que ela tá, fera.
It inherits Ei's pain, the pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity. Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred. All of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time.
É.
Only rules shall remain constant for eternity.
É.
Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, They are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden Ei.
Oh.
In the end, even the proud and mighty Oni
Wait, what?
was
No!
cut down and disgraced.
Fuck!
Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did. Illusion shattered. This ends now. Pathetic. Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal. There is no escape. Inferior. The eye sweeps the lands.
What the fuck?
Illusion shattered. Now you shall
Chai.
perish. The sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch black rain. As long as the ley lines flow, the relentless erosion of time will never stop.
She's completely recovered?
Injusto. Muito injusto.
Thunder. Insolent. This world, a fleeting shadow. Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered. The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade
Ah, qual é?
into the clouds. There shall never be another. Never. For the rest of time.
Pera aí. Tem que trocar minha comida. Essa aqui tá acabando. Esse aqui.
Stillness transcendent. Torn to oblivion. Inferior. Strike dead. There is no escape. Pathetic. Weak. God. Absurd. Now you shall perish. Euthymia
Easy.
crumbles before.
Have you finally defeated her?
Não. Ela vai adotar a forma suprema dela aí agora que eu sei.
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong?
Calma, Paimon, que é isso?
In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living beings, including you and me.
Then, does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking, one that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight, I will defeat her. 500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle. Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learn to trust them. I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please, be my witness. During my absence, I place in Miko's hands.
But this means that...
Pass on my words.
Aí a Miko vai mandar a gente de volta pra cá. Certeza. A Miko vai pensar: pera, ela tá empurrando todo o trabalho dela pra cima de mim? Nem a pau, volte. Quer dobrar minha carga trabalhista, fera? Qual é?
What do we do? Are we really just gonna leave Ei and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever? She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still...
Mas o corpo físico tem que depender da Shogun.
Right? Also, Ei can be pretty stubborn at times, and has a history of rushing into difficult situations.
É verdade.
She gets too obsessed with winning, and she forgets why she's there in the first place.
Exato.
Could happen, and then she might never leave again. Yeah, we should help her out, like we did last time.
Exato.
The quicker she gets through this, the better. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, you know, help her win the fight? Well, whatever. We can't let anything bad happen to Ei while she's in there. Oh, but we also can't get in there anymore.
Miko.
Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't feel Paimon now. Okay, maybe if
Paimon.
we ram into it at the same time really, really hard.
Paimon, respira, Paimon.
Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her. Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm playing thingies more than we do, but there's no one else we can turn to. Alright, up the mountain we go.
Ok. Oh. Oh.
Talk to the Electro Archon whenever you are troubled.
A gente já tá aqui. Beleza. Sério? Desce.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you. I
Claro.
hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
Sassy.
You're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech. Do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Oh, meu Deus do céu.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's Ei. She...
E conta toda a história.
Oh, okay, I see. So, Ei's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date.
Exato.
Possibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like Ei, all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now? Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Is she playing dumb? She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
É claro que ela tá.
You're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from Ei's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way, but I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me, what was it like? Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all.
Ok.
First things first, follow me to the entrance.
Qual entrance?
Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be.
Ok.
To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm Ei's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where Ei is.
Ok.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there.
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time.
Oh
This
shit.
is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, time on scene. You two can go in.
In your
Suit
dreams.
yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
Paimon had it up to here with both of you! Oh, Paimon's coming too.
Oh, well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way.
Ok.
I say.
O que foi que eu...
Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Ok.
Well then, the door is open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake and for Inazuma's, please.
Eu vou ser mandado direto pra dentro ou eu tenho escolha de quando ir?
You better know what you're doing.
Nós teremos sucesso.
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
Uou. Calma. Oh, eu vou ser mandado direto, ok. Cutscene! Turururururu. Oh! Lembranças.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Estou chegando, Ei. Hello. Hello again. A gente acabou de sair, mas voltou. A gente é cabeça dura, fera.
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years?
Tu tá aqui há quanto tempo?
This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago.
500 anos!
So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler.
Nope.
I'm going to be the start of something new.
Oh. Wait. Not again. Oh, come on. Wait, what the fuck is that? Wait. I don't like this.
Witness the final calamity. Shine down.
Oh. Nossa, da hora. Enfrentar semi-ultra é sacanagem, hein? Que é isso? Ah. Interessante, hein? Ganhei. Eu sou top.
This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future. And you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Musou Ishin.
Musou
The
Ishin.
blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding.
Eu só usei o E.
This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power.
Pera.
I truly understand and believe in her.
Essa nome pertencia a Makoto, a Shogun anterior. Sério, Mihoi não. Royalverse. Sério, Royalverse, que precisava disso aqui? Então, a arma original da Ei é a lança. E a espada é a arma principal da Makoto, que ela herdou dela. Ah.
When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval.
Ooh.
Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules.
Oh.
From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant.
Oh.
I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand.
Curioso, mano, essas
I
duas
shall
conversando
become
com a
your
outra.
shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat?
Que revanche.
It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Oh? Que isso? Foi isso?
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness.
Oh, Makoto!
I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces.
Makoto?
I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end.
Tu demorou 500 anos.
I left a
Me
faint
once.
fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said.
É verdade.
There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me.
But... you never mentioned this to me.
Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness.
Did you know what was about to happen in Conria?
I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way.
Don't look down on me.
See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain.
Okay.
Here, take it. Before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
O que ela vai me dar? Cutscene? Yes!
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really?
Uma semente da árvore sagrada. Oh! Já vai plantar?
Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye, Makoto.
So the A of the present planted the sacred sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past.
What? Oh, caraca, que loucura.
No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
Né?
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
A place
Simultaneamente.
is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything...
É a semente.
It's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
I know what you mean. Perhaps Makoto got a higher power involved in all
Staroth?
But whatever the explanation,
Quem é Staroth?
her solution is what
Poder
saves us
maior?
all.
Staroth?
Without the sacred sakura,
Staroth?
Inazuma
What?
would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that
Confuso.
feels a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too.
Mesma coisa então.
It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense Ei's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma?
Nossa senhora.
It turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome.
That's my job.
You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
A, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down?
Quase 2 horas de vídeo, maluco.
Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine.
É só se olhar no espelho.
It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day. I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past.
Finally!
Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Essas duas.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days?
Essas duas.
Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
O olhar.
We'll have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
O que é isso?
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
Será que eu posso ir pra Inazuma nadando agora? Dia, talvez. Yeah! Terminamos, finalmente. Demorou, hein? Demorou bastante. Sakura do sonho. E agora eu posso pegar esse aqui, mas não vou liberar agora não. Por quê? Tá na hora. Pra encerrar o vídeo. Aqui, exatamente aqui. É o melhor lugar para se fazer os desejos agora. Nessa exata posição. Então, é isso aí. Vamos lá. E vamos lá, povo. Vamos ver minha sorte. Eu tô faltando 10... Eu tô no 70. Eu vou dar 5 desejos primeiro. Para chegar no 75. Aí no 75 eu dou 10 tiros. Então, vamos ver o que vai rolar. Vamos lá. 71. 75. Oh! Já? No 75? Pelo amor de Deus. Ah, mano. Que tristeza. Ok. Vamos lá. Caraca, Yae, tu me custou uma fortuna, cara. Nossa senhora, foi quase tudo que eu tinha. Meu Deus do céu. Caramba, homem. Jin C2. É bom. C2 dela é bom. Mas eu tenho que precisar ir até 85, cara. 85 pra pegar Yae, maluco. Nossa. A ficha. A ficha tá C5. Essa aqui tá C6. E o Toma tá C2, né? C2. Aumenta a duração da grande armadura. Ok. Muito bem. Por enquanto tá bom. A minha Yae tá nível 69. Já equipei os artefatos dela. 1600 de ataque por enquanto, né? Ok. Eu não tenho nada. Não tem como refinar não, né? Não tenho não, né? Tá bom. O cachorro começa talento eu vou upar depois. Mas é isso aí. Tá ficando boa, tá ficando boa. Falta pouco. Vai ficar melhor com o tempo. Vamos ver isso aí. Bom, povo, é isso aí. Tivemos um pouquinho de azar, né? Só um pouquinho. No tiro 75 veio a Jin. E no tiro 85 é que veio a Yae. Mas é. Eu sinceramente eu sentia que eu ia ter azar, cara. Por isso que eu não tentei pegar Shenra. Porque eu sabia que eu ia precisar de todos esses títulos pra Yae. Mas né, é isso aí. Se curtiu o vídeo, deixa um like. Nossa, vídeo comprido do caramba, mano. Se inscreve pra não perder os próximos vídeos e ativa o sininho pra receber a notificação quando vier vídeo novo. E é isso aí. Próximo vídeo vai ser com a história da Yae. Vamos ver do que se trata a história lendária dela, né? E falando nisso, a batalha contra a outra tá liberada já pra fazer? Tá, ué. Mais um boss pra farmar depois. Mais um. Mas isso aí vai ficar pra outra hora. Mas sim. Esse vídeo ficando por aqui. Vejo vocês no próximo episódio de Genshin Impact. Valeu. Falou.